Back live with you tonight here on In Focus, continuing to get reaction to the appointment of Mandisa as Chief Justice, now being made, of course, official by President Cyril Ramaphosa's announcement a little bit earlier on. Legal analyst Abigail Ngobene joins us now for more reaction. Abigail, good to have you, and thank you very much for coming on. Reflect on this particular appointment and this significant milestone in the context of how far we've come as a country and the conversations, of course, we've been having about our readiness for a female Chief Justice, although we know that was not even a conversation to have because of the potential that already existed within the Constitutional Court, but also how far our courts have transformed.
Good afternoon to you, colleague. Good afternoon to the viewers of Newzroom Afrika, and thank you very much for having me today. You remember last time when she was interviewed, not these previous interviews, on the previous ones when she was there, she was particular to say South Africa has always been ready for a women Chief Justice. And this came remarkably at the time when we are about to launch the month of women, the month of August. And it comes with so much joy to see a woman of her caliber ascending to the highest bench of the judiciary, the highest court of the land. But to speak to the transformation, as you have said, you remember that she was also particular, and she was celebrated during the interview to say, when she was the president of the Supreme Court of Appeal, we have seen a lot of women coming to the bench. We have also seen a lot of black judges ascending the bench, and such things, such measures or such transformation milestones are the things that we still expect to see a lot happening. Women being ascending the highest places in the judiciary, and also seeing the transformation of the judiciary as a whole.
She comes in at a time when the country is having conversations around holding judges accountable, and that has sparked a whole lot of controversy back and forth on whether or not it sets back the agenda of transformation, or whether or not black judges are being unfairly scrutinized. I mean, her leadership, does it extend in terms of its capability to be able to navigate that difficult space?
There are a lot of issues that have been happening lately in the judicial space, but you'll also remember that the issue of turnaround times in delivering judgment as well is something that we have seen some of the judges being disciplined for that. And of course, there is a need for the judges to be held accountable. But of course, we have seen the Judicial Service Commission, which shall then become the chairperson of such a commission, discharging its duties fairly, bringing judges to come in account. Some of the judges are being impeached, some of the judges are being held accountable, being brought before the disciplinary tribunal of that commission. And we believe in her leadership to say, as she ascends this chair and this seat and this highest seat in the judiciary, we will see more of this happening. One of the interviews that she said she's going to be the face of the judiciary, and her being there will then bring so much confidence from the public. And as she speaks, she will not be speaking on her own, she'll be speaking on behalf of the judiciary. And we believe that her tracks and her abilities will then be able to drive this wheel going forward. Tony?
It is a system that for a very long time has really only seen the males dominating. Now, of course, we are seeing that transformation beginning to take place. But efficiency and enhancement, of course, is across the board, whether it is a male or a female in that position. Her proposals on caseload management, do you think they will be effective enough and accepted enough to be able to make significant change?
Yes, I think her proposal as a whole, remember that during her interview, she laid down a plan on how she intends to transform the judiciary, the manner in which the turnaround times in delivering judgments. She also spoke to approaches such as having discussions immediately after a sitting of court, wherein it will then help expediting delivering of judgments, because that is the core of issues. You'd want to have litigants that go to court having their judgment timeously to ensure that they are not prejudiced going forward. And I think what she's coming with into this position is something that will actually broaden the scope, or even help the issue of delivering, seeing justice being done, people getting recourse and remedies from courts timeously to protect their rights.
Today, can we then proudly say that as a country, I mean, sitting at 45% of the judiciary being female now, we are heading in the right direction? We can proudly say that we are actually making headway?
I think from where we are coming from, so we have made a significant transformation, and it's something that we need to celebrate. And you'd remember that when she was being interviewed previously, she was particular to say when she went to the Supreme Court of Appeal, there were only 2 women there, and she emphasized, or she diversified what was already there, worked on that, and there was a huge transformation. We have seen women, even now the president of the Supreme Court of Appeal is a woman, and having her there as the first Deputy Chief Justice, it's also one of the things that are very remarkable. But what is even more remarkable is South Africa having the first female Black Chief Justice for the first time. And you remember when she was asked on whether or not she's good because she's a woman, she was particular to say that she's not just good because she's a woman, she's just a good woman judge. And such kind of words coming from a woman gave so much hope and courage to young girls who are aspiring to be judges, women, Black women who are aspiring to enter that door of being in the judiciary. And her trailblazing steps and marks in the judiciary give so much confidence and hope to all of us who are aspiring to be in the bench.
Well, we've got the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Development, Ms. Thembisi Milani. She's also, of course, woman. But here's what she says. She says, by the mere presence of women judges, it enhances legitimacy of our courts. What do you make of that statement?
There's a certain skill, there's a certain caliber, or there's a certain technique that a woman has, and she's right to have women there. You'd remember that in South Africa, we are also still suffering from scars of women being undermined, women being ill-treated, and we are also in a South Africa that has a high rate of gender-based violence issues. And in her interview, she was also very particular to when she was asked about the policy that deals with sexual harassment in the space of the judiciary. And one of the priorities I believe that she will be dealing with is that aspect, to ensure that in the judicial space, that is a zero tolerance. We don't have such kind of cases happening in that space. And she was also putting confidence into the commissioners who were asking her to say, even the people that will be raising such complaints will be protected. And I think having her there as a woman, it's a great milestone, worth to be celebrated.
Abigail, I appreciate your time. Thanks so much for coming on. Abigail Ngobene there, legal analyst, on the appointment of Chief Justice Mandisa Maya to head South Africa's judiciary.